What's up, guys? This is my first legit sketchbook tour I think I've ever done, and I've decided to just kind of narrate as I flip through. I thought that might be the best way versus just sort of flipping through it with music, I guess. You probably will hear pug sounds. The pugs are right underneath me snoring away, so if you hear snores, it's the pugs. This sketchbook I started in December of 2016. Actually, if you follow my vlogs, you will have seen me starting it there when we were back east. So it was like December, and I just finished it in August. So it took me a while to actually get this totally filled in and done. One other quick note before I start the tour, my sketchbooks are very different from my art journals. My art journals are more mixed media. The pages for me are really more like finished works of art. My sketchbooks are really like my play area. It's where I practice techniques. I do a lot of drawing, a lot of illustration stuff. I will jot down notes. I take them with me places. So it's very, very different than my art journals. Something else to note too is that I usually work in a couple of different sketchbooks at a time, so that's another reason why it takes me so long to like finish one from cover to cover. So at the time that I was working on this one, I had two other ones that I was also working in. One of them which I'm gonna keep private, and the other I'm still sort of filling. That's the other thing too, is that I am working on a lot of things in this, so sketchbooks for me are very personal, so I might cover things up or skip over things if I need to, but I did want to share at least the majority, 95% of what's in this bad boy. This is the hand.book sketchbook, and it's the watercolor sketchbook. This was a larger size sketchbook for me because normally I'm in like the moleskins. I usually work pretty small, but I wanted to challenge myself and get myself into a bigger size sketchbook. The first page of my sketchbook is always usually stickers or like random stuff that I've stuck in. So these are two of my own stickers here. This is mine as well. This is a Overwatch sticker that James brought for me from Comic-Con. A couple of specific artist stickers. This is one of my tattoo artists, Roxy. I will put Instagrams, accounts or like links or names if there's anything else pertaining to other artists. So this was Roxy, one of my tattoo artists. This is another artist, the Lady Beaver. She does really cool like comics and other fun little illustrations, and they're always like a little naughty, which is kind of fun. I do not remember who that is. Sorry if it looks familiar. This is not mine, it's somebody else's. This is mine. This was a, you'll see the original in here that I painted, and then I got it turned into packing tape. I will most likely be selling this in my Etsy shop like October or for the holidays. I'm gonna pack up little batches of this stuff because I love it so much. And this was a chunk from a Voodoo donut box, which I think this was when I was in Portland. I took this sketchbook with me. You'll probably see a lot of that. Yeah, most of this was from December, just kind of starting, really doodling a lot of things. You can see where I'm starting to develop the spirits online class. So a lot of these kind of early pages, I was working on sort of nailing down the techniques and details from that. So you'll see a lot of that. Satan Stole My Car is a script that James wrote, and that we've talked about turning it into a graphic novel. So there's a lot of character design and sort of early logo design for that. Most of this is just pen and ink, a lot of ink work. I think this is paint, the green is paint. Lots of little filler stuff around. Kind of spirits thing. You can tell I was really brainstorming and getting into the class on that. I believe this is colored in with the Jane Davenport mermaid markers because I had gotten those and I was playing with those. This is the Copic brush pen. Marina Abramovich quote. I love her. This was on an airplane. These were people that I met on an airplane, so I like to take, I will put in like my boarding passes. And this was the business card of people that I met. This was a giant thing that I found at a local restaurant by us. It's actually like for a kid's birthday party. There's like a kid's name written on it. I don't know. Just kind of messing around. More Satan Stole My Car, just kind of coming up with some cover page designs. Here I was practicing hands using the Copic brush pen. Again, obsessed with that. Some chopped off finger, pretty usual. This was all done on the airplane, so you can see I was kind of like roughly sketching where I was sitting, and then just it kind of turned into a typography thing. So yeah, I actually really like this page. There's pages in here that I really love and that I really hate, but I actually really like this one. More spirit stuff happening here. Again, more spirits, a little bit more typography. I just really liked this quote. Playing with some little kind of demon looking dudes. Again, more Satan Stole My Car. This was me practicing drawing cranes. This would later end up in an art journal spread, which I don't think I've shared yet, but a lot of the imagery or illustrations that I do in an art journal, I practice in a sketchbook first before I start doing that. This was when I had gotten the Jane Davenport mermaid markers, so I was doing some sort of preliminary swatches. This is actually all in a vlog. You see me actually working with this. This is more Satan Stole My Car, just playing with some more visuals. This was a scratcher. Oh yes, I was watching The Nick while doing these, so I was just kind of drawing some of the nurses, and I was really into the hair. So I think on this one I started with the hairdo. I just really liked the like poofy hair thing they were doing. And this was a quote from the show as well. So yeah, playing with that, playing with blending, those mermaid markers. I was really into those when I got those. Again, more sort of spirit thing. You can see where I'm playing with the silhouettes for the spirits class. And more mermaid markers. I was trying to use all of the colors. And this is lyrics from a song. I'm blanking on who the band is at the moment. I'll put a link somewhere of what this song is. I did this while watching Westworld, so hand pieces and internal bone sort of thing. I just liked the look of that, so just kind of playing around. More mermaid marker swatches. I wanted to do big ones with adding water just to see what happened there. This was me playing with something for the Life book, and it's actually covering up something else at the moment. More skull, fun detail stuff there. This is page 2 of the mermaid markers, so I wanted to do the cold colors here and then do warm here. This was all from when I was in Portland. So I took this sketchbook with me. This was in Portland. More Voodoo Donuts boxes, and I got this sticker in an airport. I really like putting stickers in my sketchbooks because I feel like I don't know where else to put them, so they're just fun here. This is an old journal spread that actually was falling out of a book that I had because I had done it in an altered book, and it was chipping, and I still kind of loved the spread a lot, so I just wasn't ready to part ways with it, and I didn't want it to just be all loose and flopping around, so I just glued it into my sketchbook. This has a whole assortment of random things. I think this I did on a live stream. I was live streaming and just wanted to draw, and I was playing with a lot of those Liquitex muted inks, so you'll see a lot more of that sort of pop up. And these were Random Society 6 stickers. This is from the Sabrina comic, so this is not my original art. I was copying this out of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina comic, which is really cool. The artwork in there is really neat, but I especially like her character design, so I just was kind of playing with perspective of the eyes a little bit there, and I liked her hair. And this is Dr. Pumpernickel, who is from Satan Stole My Car, so I am designing him a little bit here, playing with how he would look. He's super fun to draw. I really, really like drawing him. But he's little and he sits in Emma's pocket. Emma is one of the main characters in the graphic novel or in the comic. So Dr. Pumpernickel is a Satan rat or a hell rat that she finds and stows in her pocket. So more playing with spirits a little bit here as well, and just kind of having fun with putting weird things on top of people's heads. More chopped off hands. Typical. This was very random. I think this was actually a different sketch, or I was going to do something else with it, and then I ended up just turning it into these weird people, and I was like, oh, they're ghost people, and then just added weird text. I don't know what I was doing here. Marker swatches up here. I think I had gotten these out of an Art Snacks box, so I was just swatching them to see. There's actually some drawings underneath here, but I think I covered them up. Same story here, like there's probably something underneath here, but I just covered it. This became the new cover of Satan Stole My Car, so there was that one kind of earlier. This is now like the new one, so I drew this and then we scanned it in. It's now on the cover of the script. Also playing with fonts down here, so I will do a lot of handwritten fonts, and then James and I will scan it in and then put it onto scripts. This is a whole random mix mosh of things. This was me playing with patterns and color combos for a journal spread. This is from a magazine, actually. It's the original concept drawings of Disney's Sleeping Beauty. I just really liked the way that the figures are, and it kind of reminded me of my spirits class a little bit, so I don't know, I really liked the way that looked. This is a business card. This is Jana Freeman, so this is not mine. She owns Way Art Yonder Studio in San Diego, so I'll put her Instagram in there. Pug Party Podcast, I was playing with some fonts. We were starting up the podcast, so I had kind of written some notes under here, which I've covered up. random doodle. And then this was a project that I was designing. So these were preliminary sort of sketches and character designs for puppets that I would end up making later. So this is pretty random stuff. This is actually mostly for classes that I teach. So this is for the cacti class where I will reference this to talk about some color theory stuff. This is for fantastical fauna. I'm going to be teaching both of these classes in 2018, so you can look on my schedule of when I'm teaching those. Very random page here. I found playing cards in my street, so I started using those a lot. This was some new ink that I had, so I wanted to play with it a little bit. So you can see where I'm using it as sort of a background, a wash, and then just as like a outliner. Some additional quotes and typography. I really like playing with fonts a lot, so I do that a lot. This is this really awesome Tim Burton quote that I just really love, and I didn't know where else to put it. I think I had it on my wall for a little bit, and then I ended up just sticking it in my sketchbook. If you've ever had that feeling of loneliness, of being an outsider, it never quite leaves you. You can be happy or successful or whatever, but that thing still stays within you. More character design. This is the sister lizard that is in Satan Stole My Car, so kind of drafting her up, seeing what she looks like. Random, lots of cover-ups here. This was some little cutouts of my zine, the first mini zine that I did 2 weeks in May. So I had some little leftover scraps. They were from when I was first kind of making my first sample, so I ended up kind of cutting them out. There's a pattern piece behind this, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I just glued it on top of it. This is not mine. This is Val Free. Very famous illustrator. She's also the same illustrator artist that is on my phone case, the Spellbook phone case. It's the same artist. She is amazing. And then we get into the April Art Challenge. As you know, I host the April Art Challenge on Instagram. It's 30 days of prompts, so every day is a different prompt. So all of those are going to be in this sketchbook. But I create my basically prompt list. I always do it by hand, and then I take a photo of it, and then I edit the photo, and that's what becomes the thing that's on Instagram. That's everywhere. I will definitely be doing that again in 2018. So these are all, like the next couple pages are from the April Art Challenge. Here's the original painting of what ended up becoming that packing tape. So it's kind of fun just seeing how it was originally. And it's paint, and I think I don't know what I used on top. Maybe a pen? I'm not entirely sure. Headless Horseman. I had a lot of fun with that. This was when I was like really into like the ghost whispery things. Again, that ended up in the spirits class. I love this playing card. I really like how she turned out. I just think it looks really cool. Playing with tattoo designs. This was like the frog prints was the idea behind that. Daria, vintage cameras, little Wes Anderson action, the little Furby person with their head being blown off. Another pattern, I really like this too. I'm just a big fan of patterns. This is one of my own mini prints. I sell these in my Etsy shop. I think I was using this to cover something else up, so I'm sure there's something underneath this. I also really love this Bride of Frankenstein too. I like the way she looked. So more of the April Art Challenge, kind of a weird little drawing up there. I don't know what's going on, but I like it. Coraline. This is a quote from Girls. I don't know if this ended up being the actual prompt, but I was trying to do something for weather, and I hated the way this looked, so I actually don't even know if I posted this. I hate this, so just ignore that. My dad had asked me to draw this, so I drew that for him. Oscar the Grouch, because he is my favorite from Sesame Street. More finishing up of April Art Challenge and kind of getting into other things. I love this pug photo. Someone gave me this, a student in a workshop gave me this, and it just like cracks me up. And it's currently covering up something that I don't like, so I do that a lot. I hate whatever's under there, so I just cover it. This was actually a photo that I altered into a tattooed woman from the circus. Again, this is all April Art Challenge. I think we were up in Big Bear for this because this stationery from Millie's desk is actually, Millie's my grandmother. She was just a really cool lady, and I just really liked finding her stationery up in the cabin, so I took a bunch of pieces of it and was doing a lot of drawings on it. So yeah, I kind of drew this wolf coming apart onto it. Some keytars, Rocco's Modern Life, a little Strange and Unusual coffin action, another little pattern. These are like little tiny baby skulls. I think this is the end of April Art Challenge, so I had like a tarot card. This was my first sample of the hand-drawn and hand-painted spirit cards. that ended up being the giveaway for the spirits class. So I saved one and put it in my sketchbook. More Wes Anderson. This was a tree that I was drawing that's actually up in Big Bear. It's like in front of our cabin. And it used to be a huge giant tree, but it was struck by lightning. So I literally like was just roughly sketching it. Here's a weird gorilla with its head chopped off with knives and bananas falling out of it. I don't know what's going on there. This is just kind of planning. This was like a general idea that I had of creating these creative saints, and it's hard to see because it's just in pencil sketches right now. I do want to go back and like outline it or do something with it, or maybe turn this into a zine. I think this will end up being a zine maybe in the future. But yeah, there's like, so like they're patron saints of different creative things. So like this one is the patron saint of a new sketchbook, patron saint of deadlines, patron saint of all-nighters, the patron saint of the paintbrush in the coffee cup, because we all do that, right? This was that card from the April Art Challenge. So I drew the top half first and then used some tracing paper to get the identical trace on the other side. More patron saint ideas. This was kind of boarding out some things for Satan Stole My Car. This is mostly Satan Stole My Car, just kind of creating some scenes, some initial like kitchen designs. It opens up with her doing taxidermy in her kitchen, and she's watching YouTube videos to learn how to do it, so that's what all this is. I wrote this down somewhere because I heard somebody say this, and I keep like little scraps of paper in my bag, so I will sometimes write things down. And as most of you know, I have really horrible anxiety, and I heard someone say, or I don't know where I got this from, but is this anxiety constructive anguish? And I just really, really love that, and I kind of just want to write it down everywhere. More character designs for Satan Stole My Car. This is the main character, Emma, so just kind of really playing with her a little bit. This was kind of a fun challenge for me, getting back to kind of some more figure drawing and proportions and kind of figuring out her overall shape and how she would look. This is a real mix mosh. This was actually a random sketch that I had used for my cacti class and then just didn't throw it away and started painting on top of it. So this is just a whole random mix mosh of painted cacti and weird things, and I think I was playing with some new paint pens as well. I did this on a live stream. I think it started as a cover up because you can see the post-it kind of behind it, so I think it's covering up something underneath there that I didn't like. More little random scraps, notes. This is a very mix-moshy page. Got kind of a little ghost guy here. I don't know what I was doing here. Some little baddies. I got really into drawing these like spooky bats. I think I did this on a live stream too. I can't remember. Tell this is probably a cover-up of some sort. I like don't remember what I end up doing, but there's notebook paper and then I painted on top of it. This is when I started painting with tattoo ink. So those are just some kind of notes for that. Another kind of random page. This was me practicing with some of the Art Snacks materials, because this is when I started to do the Art Snacks videos. So I always test all the supplies and kind of come up with my ideas in my sketchbook first before I make the final videos. Same story here. This was, if you've seen these videos then you know what I'm talking about. So like these are the originals, like developing the ideas before I actually do them on camera. Some Pickle Rick, because I had just watched that episode. More little ghosties. I got really into drawing these guys. Playing with some masking fluid here. Also masking fluid. I don't know what I'm doing there. Very random page here again. This is the original from the Art Snacks video. So if you've seen that, video, that's where it lives. This was me designing some patches. So I really wanted to get into some embroidery. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen some of them. So I was kind of just playing with some different color combos and using my stencils. So these two are actually from my Bun stencils, same with the teeth. And I was using the stencils as kind of like the basis for the patch. These are actually images from a new zine that's coming out soon, which is of the Wild Wood. That'll be out in October. But James got some of the images for me turned into a stamp. So that was me sort of practicing the stamp for the first time. This is a very random page as well. I really don't draw old people a lot, so I wanted to practice that a bit more. I was referencing Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter, so I was looking at some photographs of the actress, and I think this was the first one, and then I just started kind of drawing based on my own image. So like I'll do that sometimes. I'll pull a photograph from someone and I'll reference it for like the initial sketch, and then I will reference my own drawing so it gets kind of watered down and will like turn into something else. These are random doodles. I don't know what I was doing there. The White Rabbit. I really like drawing cartoons or from comic books just because it's a fun challenge to draw out of your style. I feel like it's a really good learning experience, and drawing not in your style is, I think, really important to do. And even if it's just like, you know, you're watching an old Disney movie and you're copying from the Disney movie, it's just really good practice. And again, this is why this stuff lives in my sketchbook and not like in my finished works of art. I had gotten some new paint, so I was playing with the paint here. Obviously this is a cover up because I have a post-it there. This is something that I started to do, and I'm doing it a lot in my new sketchbook that I've started, where I will watch a movie. So I was watching The Evil Dead here, and I will just look up on screen and start to sketch things. And I sketch with colored pencil. As soon as I have something drawn, then I'll look back up at the screen again and then draw whatever is on the screen. So it ends up just kind of filling a whole page here. You know, like a couple days later, come back and slowly outline it, because it's kind of fun to just have like mindless things to be outlining with a pen. So that's what that is. And this is the last page. I think I got a new paint pen I was practicing with and just wanted to get some stuff on there. That's what that is, little crystals. I think I was gonna live stream these, but I never did. And then the back pocket, I always just kind of put random things in there. These were some business cards I was playing with because I make my own business cards. So that was like a garbage one. And this was a postcard from Fran. I had bought a print from her Etsy shop. So this was like the little thank you card that comes with her thing. And I just didn't want to throw it away. So it ended up in the back of my sketchbook. So there you have it, my big sketchbook, my first tour. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section and I'll try to answer as many as I can, or I'll put it in a future Q&A. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!